Okay, I think we're good. I think we are good. Uh-oh. Let's just check things out. If you are here, if you are seeing, put a 1 in the chat if you can see me. Or if you can hear me and see me, put a 1 in the chat. I think we are live. Let's see what's going on here. If you can hear me and see looks like we just went live. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to Struggle Security. I'm back for another live. It's been a while. It has been a while, hasn't it? How have you all been? Put something in the chat if you can. If you're here. Casual economists, welcome. Your struggle is back. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, what is back? What does it mean to be back to YouTube? I can't say that I'm back full time, streaming, but I'm back to some degree here. We can hear and see. Okay, awesome. Wired Dog, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for being here. I've been seeing you keep putting up content. The try hack me material, definitely appreciated, man. I always check it out. I gotta start dropping comments and gotta start putting some commentary in there too. Definitely. Yeah, like a lot of the videos that you do, definitely appreciate it, man. Okay. Let me just go ahead. So much has been going on lately with me. And let's just go ahead and start. Let me just drop who else is here? Trying to get back onto it too. Yeah, man, it's a lot, man. Life is happening, right? The season's changing, specifically here in Detroit. In Michigan, seasons are changing, so things are warming up. So, everybody is more, I guess, alive now. So, because of the seasons. Yeah, glad to see him doing well. Yeah, same. Glad to see you doing well too. Let me go ahead and start this out and do the intro. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Struggle Security, where we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And one thing that I will say is that
kind of struggling a little bit.
I've been struggling, man. Y'all. It's been hard. It's been good struggles, though. Very good struggles. Probably. So the first thing I want to talk about is what's new with me. Probably the main newest thing with me is that my wife just gave birth to our second daughter. Baby number 2 is here. I am on paternity leave, and it has been a struggle. It was really interesting dealing with one baby. The first one that came, because my youngest daughter, she's only 17 months. So when she came through, we were able to, go back and forth and tag team. But now that there's 2 kids here, we're tag teaming on one, tag teaming on the other. Family has to help and get involved, and really, there's just a lot more hands that are needed. So it's been a struggle experience, but a good struggle, right? Children and everything. We've always had these kids in mind for our marriage and for our lives. So I'm happy that they are here, healthy. 10, what they say? 10 fingers, 10 toes, and everything. So, very, very happy the babies are here. We actually just had a little baby photo shoot. I don't know, something my wife organized. It was like a little baby photo shoot and whatnot. So we had the babies and everybody come into the room, and we had a photographer come by, and we kind of just did it like that. Don't mind me. I'm still trying to get this lighting and everything together. Don't want it to be too bright, but also don't want it to be too dark in here. I think that might do it. That might do it right there. Okay. So that's like what's been happening with me. So I've been on paternity leave. So I haven't been working for maybe the last, let's think, 3-4 weeks or so. So I've been off, right? That's one of the benefits of my place of employment. So it's been really cool. Really cool to have this time off, but really, I wouldn't even say that it's off, man. I've been spending this time with these kids. It feels like another full-time job here. So, good things, very good things that have been happening with me. I think also I kind of been more seeing that at times I think it's really good to take a step back from work, take a step back from your current responsibilities and kind of evaluate where you are, where you currently are, where you're desiring to go. So I've been thinking a lot more about like my career, where I'm seeing myself at, the projects and things that I want to be involved with in my organization, and kind of just thinking more. I think I'm at the point in my career where I'm probably about 10 to 11-ish type of years into my career. And I'm just contemplating, okay, what's going to happen for the next 10, 11 years or so, right? I've done the assessments. I've worked for the companies. I've gotten the bonuses. I've created impact where I've been and even further, right? It's been good. It's been good. But I'm like, what do I see this as, right? What do I see this as long term? And I think I did a stream about this maybe, I don't know, earlier this year sometime, where I was focusing on, where now I'm very much so focused more on strategy, strategic thinking about what I see in my career, but also as it concerns the organizations and the practices that I'm a part of. Let's see. So I've been also thinking about replicating myself. I don't know if you all have been hearing more of kind of a lot of the things that's been happening with artificial intelligence. A lot more, I guess, progress has been happening. There's been so much more development where a lot of artificial intelligence products and applications are very practical in their usage. You can very much so use them on a day-to-day basis in order to make you a better practitioner in multiple industries. So I'm thinking in cybersecurity, I'm like, okay, how can I utilize artificial intelligence in order to replicate myself in certain tasks? Because that's kind of where I see it, right? I don't necessarily see artificial intelligence as replacing us as people or replacing us as workers. Maybe some jobs and some tasks in jobs can be replaced with artificial intelligence. But as a whole, I think you still need human in the loop. Human in the loop is still very important in terms of the machine, the artificial intelligence within our occupations. So I've been very much so thinking about how do I replicate or how do I automate certain tasks that I do where I guess my workload isn't so burdensome, right? Things that I do over and over and over and over again. How can I automate those processes by utilizing artificial intelligence, right? So I'm heavy within GPT and a lot of other artificial intelligence tools. Definitely. So Wire Dog mentions, right? Definitely is another tool to add to your tool belt. And it's interesting, right? Let's talk about that just a tad bit, because I think I think it's been so sensational. Like artificial intelligence has been so sensationalized. And I was having a discussion with some individuals about this the other day. One thing that we always notice is that every time there's a new technology on the block, right? A new technology that comes down the block, sets up shop, what happens? There's so many different predictions about what's going to happen. There's so many different predictions, almost like futuristic or dystopian future type of predictions. I mean, I remember not so many years ago, right? The metaverse was a big conversation. What were they saying about the metaverse? I'll give it a second. I'll pause to see what you all think about. What were people saying about the metaverse for what you all can remember? And I feel like I might want to do like a Google search or something for some of the headlines. Let me see if I can find some of the headlines from like 2020. Hey, what's up, Keep It Techie? Hey, what's up, man? I'm looking for some stuff. What were they saying about the metaverse? Metaverse 2020 headlines. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at something from Forbes. And the title of this one is, Has the Pandemic Launched Us into the Age of the Metaverse? And this is the article from May 27th, 2020. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share this out and see what you all think. Wire Dog says he's been testing Copilot, right? So Microsoft product, Microsoft Copilot to help create scripts and build out playbooks. That's so important. I was even looking at something as it concerns for Microsoft Copilot, where they were using automated threat detection in the event of incidents. So there's an incident that comes out that's widely advertised or widely available on the internet, right? Other organizations have been hacked. Other intrusion detection systems, antivirus have found them, and it's in Microsoft's catalog. They were utilizing Copilot in order to create automatic threat detections so that organizations that might not be compromised or might think that they might be compromised can utilize those threat detections to search for the bad within their environment, even before they have a declared incident. I mean, this stuff is being, I mean, this stuff is really a force multiplier in being able to fight against today's threats. Definitely. So kind of, hey, what's up, Eric? Hey, what's up? Welcome. Oh, I forgot to do all my welcomes. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. Also used to create thumbnails. Thumbnails are variant. Yeah, because ChatGPT has DALL-E in it. So DALL-E is like I think it's like a text to image tool, which is dope. Yeah, so I use it too. Gabe came up. Wow, not even Obsidian can do that. Well, listen. Hey. We gonna keep YouTube stuff on YouTube. Over there is Rumble. Obsidian is on Rumble, right? This is a YouTube space. So, you know, we ain't doing, no, I'm just playing. I'm just messing around. Wired Dogs say, hey, Tech, you all are doing these salutations, Esther. Good to be back. Good evening to you all. Welcome, Esther. Welcome, Esther. I know you're on a different time zone. Yeah, absolutely. For everyone who just came in, I just want to say welcome and thank you for being here. I know I've been taking time off, but want to say welcome and thank you for coming through. Yeah. You be sure to hit the like button. Absolutely. And just like Wired Dog said, hit the like button. Kind of what we're discussing right now a little bit here is the whole idea of when new technology comes in, there's a lot of different speculations and assumptions and all different types of things when new technology comes up, because artificial intelligence is coming with a lot of these assumptions too. And I'm looking back to an article here. Let me go ahead and share this with you all. And I haven't read this article yet, but I'm just seeing the headline and I'm remembering what was happening during that time. Hopefully that pops up. Can you all? Yeah, let me go ahead and zoom in a bit. And my whole point and my whole premise here is that when new technology comes out, there are a lot of different ideas and speculations that arrive. And we're starting with the metaverse, right? So the metaverse, the title here is, has the pandemic launched us into the age of the metaverse? Now, for all of us who are here in 2024, because this was in 2020. This is in 2020. For all of us here that are here in 2024, we know that didn't happen. We are in no way in the age of the metaverse. Right? If anything, companies have divested from the metaverse. It is not even really a subject anymore. So let's go ahead. Oh, it says this article is more than 3 years old. Understood. Understood. And I need to get my Forbes thing. I didn't sign in. So it says several recent events seem to foreshadow the metaverse as the place where to go to spend a lot of time into the not too distant future. Metaverse is defined as a collective of virtual and shared spaces created by convergence of virtually enhanced physical reality and physically persistent virtual space, including the sum of all virtual worlds, augmented reality, and the internet, right? Traditionally has been exploited, blah, 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 blah. So here it's saying, but events on the technological scene suggest that we could be close to moving from this reality, marginal use, to more significant levels of adoption, particularly as a way of dealing with the pandemic and the new realities it has generated, right? So they're going more and more into this subject of the metaverse. They talk about the Oculus, right? I don't know if you all remember that tool. People were talking about that a lot as it concerns one of the ways that people would integrate or plug into the metaverse. It says that the Oculus VR in 2024 continues to advance its vision of remote working using virtual and augmented reality in line with the end of the lockdown, pointing to a future where any surface in our home could become an interface we can use to visualize just about anything. Now, I'm not saying that some of this technology has not advanced, but what I am saying is that this is not the case. People are not remote working via Oculus. People are not utilizing any surface in the home in order to plug into the quote unquote metaverse. This is not a reality right now. It's just not a reality. We even see some Peter Chow, former CEO of HTC, and who left the company about 3 years ago, now runs XR Space, which has come up with a new virtual reality device called MOVA, lighter and more powerful than its competitors. Let's see how HR Space is. I mean, I'm not even trying to be petty here, but I'm going to go to a website called layoffs.fyi. Roll with me. Roll with me here. And one thing that layoffs.fyi, it tells you about all the most recent layoffs that have happened within organizations and industries. I'm gonna bet, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong here, but I'm gonna bet that this organization, this XR Space, okay, it's not on this list. It's not on this list. Let's see. Let me see if it has another name. Let me see if it has another name. XR Space. Let's just go to like see how they're doing. XR Space. Let's see how their stock is doing, or if they're a publicly traded company. Stock prices. Let's see what's happening with these guys. So let's see. Let me go to like the 5 years ago. Oh, is this company even in business? Hold on one second. XR Space. What are the best VR stocks? Let's see. Most promising XR stock. Let's see. XR Space. I don't see. Listen. Purpose enriching social and communication experience built on XR. I don't know. I'm not seeing too much about XR Space. Let's see if they're just anywhere in the news lines right now. No, I don't know. Let's see. XR Space, the company pioneering the next generation of social reality through XR in the metaverse, funded by former Peter Chow pops up again, 2017. Let's see press releases. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about this XR Space in a long time. Okay, so it looks like April completes a $25 million funding round in April of 2023. Okay. I don't know, man. I'm not. Let's see. It's led by Fox. Let's see. Lady Metaverse Pioneers. Okay, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm not really hearing the buzz about XR Space, but I don't mean to go down a rabbit hole here. But I think one thing that we can see and one thing that we can say is that we're not really hearing too much about the metaverse here in 2024. We're not really hearing too much about the metaverse here in 2024. People were saying the metaverse is going to be the new reality of remote work. It was going to be the new reality of pretty much everything here. So back to the macro idea is that I'm saying new technology comes with all types of predictions about what's going to happen but there's no backtracking, right? There's no people that say, okay, yeah, it didn't happen and we were wrong. It's just, let's move on to the next technology and act like it's going to be everything. Let me go to the chat for a second. I'm seeing some other people acting. Welcome, Struggle Family. Definitely. Thank you for coming through. And Zone, Meta Dead. Yeah. It's like that. I know several organizations I've worked for or am working for, they've very much so taken themselves out of the metaverse conversation. They don't even invest in the metaverse anymore. So boom, right? I think another one was with blockchain. Do you all remember NFTs? Right? NFTs. Oh my gosh. Let me see. NFTs. What's happening with NFTs today? The non-fungible tokens, a unique digital identifier that is recorded on a blockchain and is used to certify ownership and authenticity. What happened to NFTs? Whatever happened to NFTs? What happened to these non-fungible tokens? Do you all have NFTs as a part of your investment portfolio anymore? Like is NFT? Hold up, blockchain dead. AI, no, AI is now. It's calm down, zone. AI is now. NFT is dead, right? I agree with that one, but AI is the now thing. So we mentioned a couple of different technologies, the metaverse, right? All these, I guess, blockchain. I get these blockchain cryptocurrency type of products. But even now, we're heading into the AI, the age of artificial intelligence. Now, I would say that artificial intelligence does have more of a use case, a productivity use case. It has I think primarily I'm seeing like a productivity use case where it can escalate business desires, right? It can escalate that process for moving for development for business needs. I can see that. I think it is much more useful than an NFT, right? But at the same time, it comes with a lot of this sensationalism too. It comes a lot with the predictions about what's going to happen. And, probably I think the best backing of that, or what people are primarily using as their source, is that of movies. They've looked at what movies? What was that movie Will Smith was in? Not Will. Yeah. I think it's that movie. I'm just gonna do art AI movies. I'm just gonna go down the list here. Let's go to these AI movies. Let's go down to these AI movies. Let me do a list. And best AI movies of all time. Okay. Let's go to that. I, Robot. That's definitely it. Wire Dog. That's definitely it. Let me share this out. But all these AI movies, right? And I think that a lot of times people utilize the movies and art in order to describe what they think is going to happen. So let's see. Let's see some of these movies. What are the name of these? Westworld. I remember seeing this. Westworld is interesting. It kind of goes down that whole when artificial intelligence becomes, I don't know, sentient, quote unquote, or aware or conscious, right? So Westworld goes down into that. The Creator. I've never seen this one. I think this is an international movie. That's another one. This is in 2023. I might have to see this one, right? It's set in 2070 after a nuclear detonation destroyed Los Angeles, and a war against AI started, right? Isn't everybody talking about that? All right. Isn't everybody talking about that? IVAC. I've never heard of that one either. The Terminator, right? One of the most classics here in the US. No, I'm not signing up for anything that you have going on. The Terminator is a big one, right? I'll Be Back. AI intelligence. I've never seen that. He looks familiar. I've never seen it. The Mitchells versus the Machines. And that's a lot of times how it's framed. It's like a war. It's like humans versus machine, right? Because I think that's where people's minds automatically go when they see a lot of these type of movies. What else they got here? Ex Machina. I saw that movie. It was kind of freaky. I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of freaky. It was like AI erotica or something like that. It was like that thing was kind of not my thing. Wally for the kids, right? Artificial Wally is going through his journey and all these different things happen, but he is aware. He has feelings. He can think. He can reason, right? So Wally is another one. I like that movie, actually. That was a really good one. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Again, human versus machine themed. Human versus the machine. It's going to finish a couple. Terminator, just like you said, right? That what you said, White Dog? Terminator 2. Judgment Day. Space 2001, A Space Odyssey. I've never seen that one. It's probably good. Looks like it's on number 2, so people probably very much so resonate with that one. And The Matrix, right? That's where the machine takes over. The machines take over. Mr. Anderson dude, or whoever people are. Keanu Reeves, right? There's artificial intelligence there. Of course, it has a different flavor to it, a flavor of AI where it's like more of the power source are humans that are plugged into a system, and that system is powered and acts without people being conscious. It's a little different, but sure, we can give it an AI swing. So when people are coming up with a lot of these different ideas about what artificial intelligence would mean to us, I think a lot of people are contextualizing it with the movies that are out there. And I think another thing is that people are kind of using it as a political ploy too. At times, a political ploy. They're saying, artificial intelligence is going to replace people, and we need to fight against that, and automating cars, and we need more jobs. And if you don't there's all types of conversations about that. But I guess my point is that I'm seeing artificial intelligence as a force multiplier, something that can be used to make our jobs easier in its current form. Now, what the future is, I cannot say. But what I am saying right now is that, hey, I think that we can use it to our advantage. We can use it to our advantage. Okay. On to the next thing. So speaking of, so kind of getting to that. Speaking of, I do want to talk about sensationalism and unsubstantiated claims. And really, the backdrop here is this. Let me pull this up for you all. And this happened. I don't know. I don't know. He put his face out there, so I don't mind saying. I don't mind posting this. This is a good screen. Someone can hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get to the chat. Eric Burke says, "This is a good quality stream. Someone can take some points and notes. Hit. It's all good, man. I definitely appreciate I'll take that as a compliment, and I definitely appreciate the compliment. Definitely appreciate that, Eric, man. Okay. What's you saying, Zone? Eric, we aren't starting a we can start a war. It's cool. We can start a war. But let's look at this. So from you all, I'm sure that you all have heard within the news cycles that of the bridge incident. The Baltimore bridge collapsed due to a boat hitting it, right? A water vessel hitting the bridge. It caused everything to go down. Context of sensationalism, sensational things, unsubstantiated claims. This is something that came out. I don't know who this gentleman is, but this is what he said. He says, "My thoughts on the Maritime incident that occurred yesterday. Indications of a cyber breach in my eyes." I don't know. In my eyes is what he's saying. So he's saying like, hey, right? This isn't too long after it came out. Buddy is saying this is a cyber incident. Let's keep going to see what else he says. It says, upon reviewing this particular video, so you are okay. Let's just see this video really, really quickly. I'm not putting audio, but this is the video. As we all have probably seen within the news, we see the bridge. I mean, the vessel going, lights go off, right? There's some issues. There's cars going by. Very tragic incident. Some lights come back on, but it seems like the vessel has already taken its way, and then it goes ahead and strikes the bridge. Seems like it's going some type of different course, and it's going to happen right. Let's see. Very soon, boom, right? It makes impact with the bridge, and then the bridge comes down. The structure fails, right? Very tragic incident. Very, very tragic thing that happens. This gentleman says, upon reviewing this particular video, the one that we just looked at, showcasing a maritime incident, several critical observations suggest the vessel may have been compromised by a cyber attack. Wow. I have never seen, as all of the years that I worked in cybersecurity, all of the years that I have worked in cyber incidents, I have never, ever in any way have declared, or I don't even think any customers have ever declared a cyber incident when the only evidence that you have is that of a video. That's the first red flag here for me. You saying that I saw this video and based upon the video, I'm seeing a cyber incident. Let's keep going to see what they said. The first one is intermittent power outages. The video records two distinct periods where the ship's lighting system fails, first from 04 and 014, and then from 025 to 030. Such disruptions could potentially indicate unauthorized control over the vessel's operational technology systems. Wow. So a power outage in some way indicates someone has taken control of, and it's not even, so when you classify that of power outages or lighting systems, that's a BMS. That's like building management systems or automation systems. This is not operational technology. So he's wrong there, but let's keep going. Another thing that he says here is that unusual navigation patterns. It appears the ship was intentionally navigated towards bridge supports, a maneuver that raises questions about the integrity of its navigation. The anomalous behavior strongly points towards external manipulation, like through cyber means. That is ridiculous. When you say a reach, this is a major reach in the wrong direction. An altered pathway for a water vessel. I don't even know, right? You go to the DEF CON events, to all these major cyber events, DEF CON and Black Hat. I don't think I've ever seen anyone demonstrate their ability to take over a water vessel. That's just not, so saying that the patterns in some way indicate a cyber attack is just a huge reach here. Huge reach. Let me jump to the chat really quickly, see what you all are talking about. What's this war? I'm out of loop. There's no war. There's no war. Zone just, sometimes you just be talking. Eric says recently a lot of data breaches occurred. Yeah. Okay, just like with the AT&T outage, some people were saying it was a cyber attack. Absolutely, a lot of people are saying that. But again, the thing about cyber attacks and cyber incidences is that they leave evidence. There's some level of evidence. There's some data. There's something that is always left behind by an attacker or some organization that gives indication that, hey, this was an actual cyber attack. This was an actual cyber incident. And to say that it was a cyber attack or a cyber incident without it really being substantiated is a problem. Okay, this says, Ekin says, I live near the Key Bridge and not one single official ain't saying nothing about the cause of the bridge collapse. Okay, they might not be saying anything as it concerns there might be things that might be handled internally as it concerns what happened, what really happened, right, with the bridge. I know that there's other things people are saying that it could have been a navigation issue with the person at the helm, right? They were saying that it could be some type of engineering issues. I know even with Boeing, right? They were talking about the navigation systems might be misfiring, or there might be some issues happening with the flight navigation systems. That could be something too. But to jump straight, my thing is to jump straight to a cyber incident is, I guess, it's spotty. It's nasty. It's nasty work, as we say here in 2024. It's kind of nasty. Bashbot hack seems dangerous. I don't know what that means, though. I don't know what that means. Help me out, man. Business Connections. What's up? Welcome, Business Connections. And also Big J. Welcome, Big J. Thank you for coming through, man. I got to go ahead and let me go ahead and mod people up who I know and who are great people on YouTube. Let me jump over to this account. You can give out moderations. 1 second. But do you all understand kind of the point that I'm getting at, right? This whole thing about jumping straight to a cyber attack is something that it's like misinformation, right? It's definitely misinformation here. And it's a bit difficult to do that without having actual evidence. It was the same thing, and I know that you know, people have different understandings or different opinions of these things, but people also still think that, you know, the elections were hacked, right? Where again, no evidence. Okay, let's keep going on this one. Optimal observation perspective. Okay, whatever that means. This video provides a clear, comprehensive view of the incident. It is clear as day. I don't see it, but okay. I wish I could work on this IR. Oh, so you did not work on the incident response yourself. You did not work on this investigation. But it's for a cybersecurity practitioner to say that they have not worked on the incident and also saying that it's clear that it is an incident. It's extremely it's irresponsible, right? So he said, I wish I could work on this incident for this investigation for this, because to me, this video supports my hypothesis. Hypothesis. What's the hypothesis? What's the definition of hypothesis? An educated guess. You out here guessing. Video supports my hypothesis of a cyber-related attack on the vessel. The incident, and anyway, he's even using the wording incorrect. The incident underscores the growing complexity and sophistication of threats in the maritime sector, highlighting the critical need for robust cyber measures, the pattern, blah, 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 unsubstantiated, no evidence, and you just throwing something on LinkedIn in order to get a reaction. So that's that piece. But let's see what other things people have been saying about this. What do you say, Zone? It says, let's blame Russia. Well, listen, hey, okay, what type of electronic devices are found on large vessels, such as shipping containers, that could be vulnerable to? That's a great question. That's a great question, because I have something ready for it. So, and I want to throw this link here in the chat. Let me find this. So years ago, are individuals who actually speak about maritime cyber attacks and what could really happen in these type of events. And I'm going to throw this in the chat. Give me 2 seconds. Maritime cybersecurity. And you all can feel free to review this link as you see fit, but I'm going to kind of be jumping around here. Let me start here. I'm looking at what that looks like, what some of these systems look like. Okay, perfect. I just have links here, and I'm going to be pausing it in certain areas so that we're able to kind of look at it, but not review the whole entire video. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share this and kind of just give a little bit of an explanation. Let me know if you all are seeing this, because the question is, what type of systems on these type of vehicles or vessels could be hacked, quote unquote, right? Actually, I need to go ahead and minimize that. But then we need to kind of zoom in a little bit on certain areas. So these are, so there are many different types of systems on these type of vessels, right? So one thing that it shows here is that the ship network. So just like within your offices, within your home office or your work office, there are networks, right? Computer systems, routers and switches and modems that all connect all different types of systems to things like email, or customs and immigration systems and timekeeping. Time is extremely important on maritime vessels, because you need to understand, because you're coordinating your time of your vessel and of your shipments and with all of the other ships and all the other vessels that are on water and within the course. I think that when you talk about control over a vessel, you are looking more at some of these here, the navigation systems, where you're talking about the ECDIS or the GNSS. I think that stands for global network. I was doing some research on this. Global navigation satellite systems, right? Radar and weather. These all are also very important as it concerns maritime vessels. There are updates and remote access. See, and that's the thing, right? Remote access to these systems is not something that's typically just all willy-nilly. Anybody can just sign into a boat and take it over. But rather, there are redundant systems. There are safety systems that are involved here, where it's not something that's trivial, right? You have a lot of your communication systems where you have with your AIS, which stands for your let's see, automated. I'm gonna have to. I had these AIS system. AIS is automatic identification systems. And then we can go over some of this. I don't want to make this a lecture. That's my thing. I don't want to make this into so many different definitions, but just want to kind of go over to the question of what systems are here on these maritime systems. And I'm in no way an expert in maritime cybersecurity or maritime technical systems, but these are all other communication systems here. Now, this area is where I specialize in, and that's in industrial control systems. That's in cargo handling, human machine interfaces, OT or operational technology, propulsion systems, and sensors. This is where I'm more particular at. But even here, a lot of this is not even what you call like TCP or IP type of connections. They're more aligned with serial connections, which really isn't. They are not. You really don't have the capability to interact with these unless you have some type of media converter, where it converts from serial to Ethernet, and then you can interact with those type of systems where like cargo handling, human machine interfaces, and all these things, right? But then you also have your network backbone, which connects everything. That's kind of a little bit of what Zone was talking about here with the IoT, with the Internet of Things. That's where you have your closed circuits, TVs, your clocks, and your remote management systems. So these are just kind of like a little overview of like a lot of these different systems that are all connected here within the maritime systems, or within these maritime vessels, right? I want to go to something else too. I want to go to something else as it concerns. So there have been other things that have come out as it concerns some of these speculations and the sensationalism, right, that's been coming out about this bridge cyber attack, quote unquote cyber attack. I want us to go to a couple of different links, and then let's see, go to a couple of different links here, and then we'll go ahead and have a convo about this. I'm pulling this link up because, and my point here, my primary point here is that a lot of these claims need to have some foundation and some base to it. Because when you're talking about cybersecurity, you're talking about evidences. You're talking about things that come in Windows systems, Linux and Mac OSs. When you talk about computer systems, you're talking about data, right? Things that you can substantiate your claims without speculation, right? You don't need to, there's not a lot of guesswork in cybersecurity, especially as it concerns incidents. So let's go ahead and play this one here. Oh, we got some other folk here. Welcome, Truism. Thank you for coming through, man. Definitely thank you for coming. The struggle is real. Salute to you all. What's good, Gabe? Thank you for coming through, Free Zone. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. What we coon talking about. We're talking about the bridge system. We're talking about the bridge system collapse in Baltimore. Or not the bridge system, but the boat that hit the bridge in Baltimore. And kind of what some people are claiming is a cyber attack. And my point is that there's no evidence. There's no current evidence that this has been or is a cyber attack. And I think that is where a lot of the issues come up here. Like Wire Dog said, get the likes up. Thank you for coming through here. Let me mod some people up. Welcome for coming through. Truism. Thank you. And Free Zone, you already modded up. Who else is in this mod? Who else is here? I think that is everybody. Okay, let's take a look at this one. And these are, and we're just gonna look at a short clip before on this one, and then we're gonna get to what an expert has said about this. Another expert has said about this in a video form. Let's take a look at a little bit of this here.
So new this morning, the absurd, not to mention offensive alternate reality devoid of facts that was created as search and rescue efforts were underway at the Baltimore bridge collapse. Seeing as Donnie O'Sullivan is with us this morning, why, Donnie? Just why?
Yeah, John, look, I mean, by the time most of us woke up on Tuesday morning to that news of the collapse of the bridge in Baltimore, there were already wild conspiracy theories circulating online just hours after the event occurred. I want to show you a list quickly of just some of these totally false conspiracy theories, just to show you how ridiculous they are. Initially, people were claiming that there was a foreign cyber attack on the ship, making it deliberately crash into the bridge, of course, which is false. There's absolutely no evidence for that. Another one was that the captain of the ship was impaired in some way by the COVID-19 vaccine. Again, totally false. Nothing happened with the captain. Others were claiming, obviously with anti-Semitic and anti-Ukraine undertones, that Israel or Ukraine were somehow responsible for the attack. And also, it just kind of got a bit wilder and wilder after that. There was the Obamas produced a movie on Netflix that had a tanker ship run aground in it, so therefore the Obamas had something to do with this. And then, of course, these conspiracy theories and this tragic event was taken, used as a political battering ram in our culture wars in this country at the moment, and people decided to blame DEI, diversity and inclusion policies, some way for the crashing of this ship.
It was
Crazy. I want to kind of go back to that list that we saw and just look at a couple of these. Right. So the first one that we saw here was the foreign cyber attack. Apparently, Russia has gotten into the boat. They were able to control the boat and manipulate it to the point where it hit the bridge. Again, no evidence. Captain impaired by COVID-19 vaccine. I don't know. Whatever. Israel, Ukraine are responsible. Something the Obamas did. They have some way to control bridges, and also DEI policies. I don't know if you all remember, individuals were saying, hey, these DEI initiatives are causing us to be less, safe with people flying planes. And now apparently with them also driving boats or large vessels on water. I mean, the claims are just, they're ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous here. Let's go to the chat really quickly. Esther says firmware is another that people don't think as another aiding material. Indeed, so firmware is very interesting. And I've actually dealt with a couple of maybe one or two incidents where we were called in. My organization was called in where there was a bridge. This was actually a bridge incident. This is a bridge incident in East Coast City. What was happening is that there were contractors that had come in and they were updating the firmware to a programmable logic controller, or a PLC, that controlled a bridge. A PLC is a device that has digital input and controls a physical action on the other side. So you can think of it as like they might open pump doors or open pump systems that have water flowing, or they're in dams and everything. So PLCs are everywhere, right? So they were downloading a firmware patch for this PLC, but actually they were exposing themselves to the internet because it was an old Windows XP system or Windows 7 system that was unpatched. So they were actually downloading the firmware, and they also got malware with it too, or viruses. So that caused us to be able to come in to be able to respond to whatever that incident was. But yeah, firmware is something that can also be modified or utilized in order to take control of systems. And I'm not saying that it's completely out of the question, or that it's not possible that this could have been a cyber attack. It's just no evidence in order to jump out the window, to jump out your body, to go online and make some unsubstantiated claims to say that, hey, this was a cyber attack. That's where my issue is primarily. Spiritual Logic, welcome, Spiritual Logic. Thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, it definitely is crazy. Anytime. If I know you, you're pretty much getting rinsed up over here for sure. So Drew is a Free Zone Logic, and you all are having a chat there. So I want to go over one more thing here, and I did want to get to something else and then try to open it up to see if people wanted to come up. Let's go ahead and talk about this, because one more thing on this subject, because I don't want to just beat a dead horse, but I just want to show how this stuff is, people are just running with this narrative that it's a cyber attack, but it just sounds crazy when they start talking about the evidence that they have. So let me go ahead and share this one, and then this will be the last piece on this item. And feel free, if you all have any questions or concerns or ideas about what you all might think happened, or any questions that you have as it concerns cybersecurity, or just even this particular incident as a whole, feel free to throw it in the chat and we can have a discussion about it. So let's talk about this one. I think she's a journalist. Her name is Lara Logan. And she makes the claim that she knows specifically that this has been a cyber attack on the vessel system, right? So let's go ahead and see what she says as this interviewer brings her in about this. Let's talk about it.
You say you have multiple intelligence sources telling you that this bridge collapse in Maryland may have been an attack on critical U.S. infrastructure. So what exactly are you hearing from these sources?
Well, I've been speaking to a number of people, including, for example, people who were on that bridge when it was opened in the 1970s, who have worked and who know that river and that bridge and the infrastructure backwards, who have worked in intelligence for decades. I've been speaking to both retired people and people on active duty. And all of them, the consensus is that it couldn't have been anything other than a terrorist attack.
Whoa. Okay. She said that she's been speaking to people, one, that was on the bridge when it was constructed, right? She's speaking to those people. She said that she has connections, speaking to people that has connections to the intelligence community. So when you talk about the intelligence community, you talk about the NSA, right? The National Security Administration, or the CIA, any of the three-letter organizations, they are typically like the U.S. intelligence, right? She says that she was speaking to engineers. I don't know. It's just kind of everywhere as it concerns what her sources are, and she doesn't cite them. Who are these sources? And where typically you cite, and not typically, if you're credible, you cite sources. You cite your sources in order to provide that credibility there. So let's just keep on going, because I'm just not. I don't know. It's a little shaky here for me.
And the reason, it's funny because you see a lot of people saying, well, look, it happened in the middle of the night. If they wanted it, if it was a real terrorist attack, they would have done it in the busiest time of day. Well, the problem is they don't really understand the nature of cyber attacks. Cyber attacks are unseen. We know this from 2020 because nobody could see the cheat inside the machines. If you don't speak QR code and you don't speak, programming, you really don't know what it is that you're looking at.
If you don't speak QR code, if you don't speak programming, then you don't, gosh, QR code? If you don't speak QR code, you know what QR codes are, right? It's like those things that you take a picture of and it connects to a link. What sources has she been talking about who are saying that the QR code is some level of evidence that there was a collapse on this bridge? Yeah, definitely. I'm right there with you, man. I think it's I don't want to make this political, but I think so. They usually have those sources up there to explain. Do they not? Yeah, they typically have the sources. But she says if you don't speak QR code, if you don't speak programming, that cyber attacks are secret or of some sort. Okay, I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Let's keep going.
And by the way, none of the people who oversee our elections know either, because they don't speak the language either. So the main point of a cyber attack is that it is unseen. So what you're looking at here, for people who know that river, they know that harbor, they know the critical infrastructure, they've worked in it for decades. When they look at this, they know that watching this, a 7-minute video from a security camera of the harbor. And when they watch that video, they know that when that ship comes into view, it is already outside of the channel that it needs to be in to make that turn, which means someone else is commandeering that ship at that point. It's being piloted by an external source. Now,
I don't. So, okay. Because, and I can get some of this point, right? I can get some of this. I'm hearing that, yeah, right. A lot of work. I'm going through the. I got my fork, and I'm picking through the salad. I'm picking all the pieces through the salad, and I'm really trying to understand what she's getting at here. Y'all saying what up? Yeah, it's a lot of word salad. but she say that based upon the people that she was talking to, the individuals that are aware of the routes of these vessels, that it was already off course. Understood. That makes sense. Then how does being off course result in it being controlled by an external party? I'm trying to understand that connection. It's off course, sure. Maybe a malfunction. Maybe something went wrong. Maybe navigation system went down. Maybe somebody was not sure 100% what happened, right? But how does it go from it being off course to controlled by an external party? I'm not seeing that connection there. As I'm digging through the salad, I got now you got your cucumbers and your celery. No, you don't put celery inside. You got your cucumbers and your carrots, and I'm digging through it and I'm making some connections, but it's still not adding up here for me. Still not adding up here for me. Esther comes in and says, think it is the way it came down. Okay. Cut emergency communications and curve one section, and two will go down, then another. Emergency call not made as quickly as possible. Ha ha ha. It is all fun. And that's the thing, right? So looking at and I don't have any issue to say that there is something that went wrong here. I think the stretch that something went awry. And by looking at the video, you can say, hey, communications were cut off. The lights went off for a certain period of time. Or, hey, the pathway was not something that was normal or usual, right? You could say that, hey, the emergency call was not made, right? Sure. Those are all visual evidences that something went awry. Something did not happen correctly. But to go from there, something went wrong, to saying, this is definitely a cyber attack and somebody, an external party, like a terrorist organization, was controlling the boat to cause this incident. I'm not seeing that connection here. So definitely, I see your point, Esther, for sure. But I'm trying to make the connections here. I've been into vinaigrette. Yeah, your vinaigrette is good, man. Yeah. Got some oils and everything in there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Atkins said, okay, if you are true sleuth, then you take the least wildest and most wildest of theories and begin to formulate the least and most likely of outcomes by running data such as odds and percentages in OSINT. Absolutely. I agree with that. You take what's there and you can make assumptions, or you can make an hypothesis, an educated guess, right? Not something that jumps straight to it was a cyber attack, but you can start to understand the story from what was there, right? You can definitely do that. So I definitely agree with that. So you're seeing a possible human angle to this. I'm not sure. See, that's the thing. So within my work structure, I actually work in incident response. That's one of the functions. So when customers get hacked or when they have an incident, my organization, we sell incident response retainers. We are the individuals that are first on what you call these triage calls to figure out what actually happened, what went wrong. One thing that's really important that we always do when we practice is to never give speculatory and advice or prescriptions that is not based upon evidence or not based upon data. So to say that it's possible human angle, I wouldn't say it because I don't have any evidence to support that. Because stuff like this happens. People start to get into an uproar. People start to get afraid. I mean, I've been on call with CIOs and CISOs where the first mention of a cyber attack or first mention of something bad happening could cause them to go into a frenzy. They start firing people. All types of things can happen. So these are cyber attacks. Declaring a cyber attack is a very delicate process. It's a very delicate thing to do. It's not something that's just done, I guess, just because I might think it, right? Sure, there's gut feelings, there's gut instincts, but without that data, that gut instinct means nothing because you can be completely wrong. So, but good questions, good discussions. Thank you all for contributing. Definitely appreciate it. Oh yeah, especially if they are, and they are regulated. They definitely are regulated. They're heavily regulated. The maritime industry. I think the Department of Homeland Security just recently did some type of meeting. They have a committee that goes over the regulations for maritime cybersecurity. So this definitely a regulated in environment. SC is going to crack down. Indeed. It's so that's the thing. There's definitely an ongoing investigation happening now. But with this, you don't start at you don't start at a assumption. You start at where the data is. You start at what you have and then you move forward. I remember so I was one of the incident responders for the Colonial Pipeline incident, right? And there was so much speculation happening there. There was so many news articles and everything coming out as we were doing the investigation. It was so crazy to the point where, because my wife remembers, I was there. I was working nights and weekends. It was just crazy because that incident was such a large scale. And I just remember the news was going on in one place and saying what happened, and these experts were coming out to say what actually happened in the incident. And I'm looking at logs and data and things that we had collected during our investigation. I'm like, yeah, that's completely wrong. Yeah, they're definitely not right about that. Yeah, no, this was not a North Korea thing. That was not the threat act. So it was just so many things that were coming out without having evidence to back it. Esther says, is there any third party providing a service to the boat? That company can control their part remotely. Delayed communication may cause a hell moment. That's possible. It's possible. So a lot of times these type of organizations, they do work with third party vendors. I don't know if you all remember years back, maybe 2011, 2012. It was that Target hack, and Target was compromised on a wide scale. It was actually their payment systems, all of their payment systems. And what had actually happened, as Esther is alluding to, is that there was a third party that was providing heating HVAC services to Target. But the thing about it is that the HVAC systems were also connected on the same network as the payment systems. So when the bad guys got into the third party HVAC system, they were also able to access the payment systems, and that caused that wide hack for Target. So it is possible that a third party could be providing a service on these vessels. But again, we don't know. But those are good questions that an investigator would ask. Those are great questions that somebody who is actively involved in the investigation would ask in order to ascertain what actually happened, rather than just saying, this was a cyber attack. I know it. Now let's move back to what the evidences are here. But yeah, great question. Yeah. Better to blame Russia than to tell people there was budget cuts on maintenance on these ships. Listen, I don't know. I can't call it. I can't call it. Can't call it. Fanny, welcome to the chat. Yeah, welcome to the chat. I think you just came here. For everybody who comes here, just saying welcome. And for everyone else who had just came in too. Atkins says, do you think these type of incidents are results of cyber industry having so many critical positions that still need to be filled? I think that can be part of the issue here. I know definitely for a lot of regulated environments, I know because I used to work in in the nuclear industry, we would a lot of times be tapped on resources due to funding. Right. We did not have the budget because cybersecurity really wasn't the main priority of the organization. For manufacturing, it's to keep the manufacturing process going forward rather than to focus on cyber or securing or from a cyber perspective. So the budget and the prioritization of cyber within certain industries like manufacturing is lacking. So, but still at the same time, a lot of people are just not hiring or like the talent shortage. So yeah, I think there are a lot of causes there. There are a lot of different causes. Yeah, feel free to ask away. People can throw anything into the chat if you all have any questions. Yeah, feel free. No, it doesn't have to be on topic. You can ask something else. No, it doesn't have to be on topic. Cynical One, welcome. Here, I'm minding people up. Thank you for coming through. No, you can ask anything. 1 second, just doing some mods. Thank you all for coming through. Thank you all for being here. Cynical, thank you for being here. I know I see you other places, but thank you all for coming through. Cyber struggles. Okay. What about them? So cyber struggles. So the name of the channel is Struggle Security. And I think that one of the struggles that I'm covering here is that of speculation and assumptions and sensationalism when I'm seeing some of these headlines that are talking about cyber incidents that have happened. So I guess it's just an umbrella term that I'm using. It's just something catchy. So, you know, that's kind of what I mean by cyber struggles here. Okay, so Esther. Okay, she's getting back into it. So thank you for this community, for this admin job. I'm happy to have chat people in my dream profession to be, still looking, but such good conversations are making my blood boil and happy anytime. Thank you for being here. And I'm happy this is contributing to that cyber motivation here. So definitely thank you so much for coming through. Hopefully I can do this more. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast or earlier in the stream, that I just had my second child. So I've been really busy lately. Haven't been able to stream, but I'll try to do this as often as I have the time and the energy to. So, but definitely thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate it. You all are giving your salutations. Everybody's saying hello. Zone, chill. She is new. Chill. You can be off topic if you want. You can be off topic but did that answer your question, Fanny? Or if you have any others, throw it in there. Anytime. Company don't want to invest in hiring new cyber employees. Some really don't. Yeah. She loves technology. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So we were kind of stepping through this video here. So let's go ahead and go back to it really quickly. And then I'm going to open it up to see if anybody want to jump up. I know Keep It Techie a lot of times jumps up and sees if he has anything to talk about or if anybody has any questions.
Now, that's a term that our intelligence agencies know very well because they do it all the time. It's called spoofing. They spoof the GPS signal. So what they do is they create an alternative GPS signal that is completely and utterly undetectable, right? If you go on there and you board the ship and you go through their computers, they're not going to find anything. They've got to go to the source of that spoofing attack in order to begin to trace where it came from. And there's a lot of different ways that, hackers who are doing this can cover their tracks.
Okay. She mentioned something very interesting there. She said GPS spoofing. I think we mentioned that very briefly earlier, right? So the system on these vessels is called a GNSS system. It's called a Global Navigation Satellite System. Now, there is a potential for a spoofing attack, but does a GNSS or a satellite spoofing attack allow an external actor to be able to control a vessel to run into a bridge? Let's look at that really quickly, because that's exactly what she said. She said GNSS spoofing, and I want to get into that very quickly. And I have a link for it as well, if you all want to check it out. And I want to hit that. And I'll get right back to what you're saying, Fanny. Right after we look at what she's saying is the cause of this hack. Because this is, right now, we're just going to talk about what this GNSS spoofing really is, right? And that's that satellite.
Going to be discussing, and that is attacks on the global navigation satellite systems. So just as with AIS, there is such a thing as spoofing when it comes to navigational satellite transmissions. GNSS spoofing alters the data associated with the GNSS to produce different positions, navigation, or actual timing information. Did you know when your phone updates its time, it's doing that through, if you're in the US, through the global positioning system? And what this spoofing does is that it tricks the GPS receiver, which can be a system aboard a ship or even your own smartphone, and of course the applications that are running on it, into thinking that you're in another place or another time. So global navigation satellite systems circle the Earth in medium Earth orbit. These signals, as we've discussed previously, are weak And as with AIS, they are unencrypted and are not authenticated. Now, when I'm talking about these signals, I'm talking about the ones that are used by civilians. The military in the United States uses different bands which are encrypted and are authenticated. And so GNSS spoofing occurs when a terrestrial radio, that means a radio that's on land, mimics GPS signals at a greater signal strength than the actual GPS system. Remember, these GNSS satellites are in medium Earth orbit. They're thousands of miles above the Earth, and therefore those signals are going to be weak. So when the spoofing occurs, it effectively replaces the real GPS signals with a fake signal. So GPS spoofing used to be very complicated. That required expensive electronics that only militaries could do. Now it's easy to gain access to such a transmitter. And here's a news item from 2019. The Russians are screwing with the GPS system to send bogus navigation data to thousands of ships. So the Russians have started hacking into the global navigation satellite system on a mass scale to confuse thousands of ships and airplanes about where they are. GNSS comprises the constellation of international satellites that orbit Earth. From the article, the Russians have started hacking into the global navigation satellite system on a mass scale to confuse thousands of ships and airplanes about where they are located. GNSS comprises the constellation of international satellite systems that orbit the Earth. And as you see on the screen, several countries have their own GNSS systems, as you see.
Okay. Don't want to go so deep into that, but let me just hit you with a couple of highlights here. The GNSS systems, or the global positioning systems, if it's spoofed or faked, it is not, there is no indication that there is control capabilities as a result of spoofing. Spoofing is something that's creating a mimic or a fake of what the actual data is, right? So that's one thing. Another thing that he mentioned, that there are weak signals, right? The ones that can be spoofed are the weak signals. But he also, I'm sorry, not the weak signals, but the ones that are unencrypted, which means that it's easy to be viewed by external parties. But he also mentioned that in the US, these are encrypted systems, especially for larger vessels or regulated systems, like the ones that we have seen in this incident with Baltimore. So encrypted systems, national boundaries or or geological boundaries, combined with the fact that spoofing does not result to control. I mean, I think that there are a lot of evidences here to show that, listen, this lady doesn't know what she's talking about, right? It's difficult to jump straight to a cyber attack from what this incident has given us evidence of. And I don't want to just keep going on and on and on about that. We're going to hit the chat, and then we're going to talk a little bit more here. But that's really my major point here. So said, congrats. Yeah, thank you about the new baby and everything. Fanny is asking the question of, what's your favorite entry-level cybersecurity job? My favorite? Entry-level cyber. So a cybersecurity analyst, right? That's typically aligned with a kind of like the entry-level cybersecurity job. So I think that would be one, and that you would suggest to people. So the title that you would look at is an information security analyst, or a cybersecurity analyst, or maybe even a SOC analyst, a security operations center analyst. Oh, wow. It's crazy outside right now. I don't know if you all are noticing here in Michigan, I think we're experiencing the eclipse. So I'm just looking outside right now. I don't know if you all have remember earlier, is that it was actually very bright, but right now it is completely dark. So that's pretty eerie. That's pretty weird. Okay. Zone says, I don't think GPS can control the boat, since that would be too dangerous and there should be a manual. Exactly. A lot of times with these vessels, there's like additional safety systems or backup systems or redundant systems where if one fails or is controlled, then that will result in a failover system taking over for whatever that malfunctioning system is. So yeah, they're just talking. And the cynical one says, you have people with such unrealistic advice when it comes to technology. Yeah, it's a great field to pursue, but you're not going to land a 6-figure job right away. Absolutely. That's very true. That's very true. 6-figure jobs don't just fall off trees all the time. So, it's just not waiting there for you. You have to put in time and work and effort into obtaining a lot of these type of roles. I actually did an interview with a young lady. She went through a cybersecurity boot camp recently, and she was able to land one of these entry-level roles that you were talking about, Fanny. I heavily recommend that you check that out, because she tells about what her experiences are in jumping into the field. And here, let me throw that link down there into the chat so you can see more and more about that, because she did a boot camp with a company called Springboard. And Springboard, here, let me take and throw that into the chat, because that was actually my latest video. Let's see. SOC analyst interview. Check that out. Okay, you got some more questions here. And if anybody has any other questions, feel free to throw them here in the chat. It says, what's your favorite certification? My favorite? Okay, let me see. From the ones that I have, so let's see. Let me go to my LinkedIn, and I'll tell you which one is my favorite one. So I've gotten several certifications, and I've had several others that have expired. Let me see. Let me go. Right now, I'm very much so up on what you call these SANS certifications. Let me share my screen out here. So, or GIAC or SANS. So there is a site that allows you to, or that when you acquire a particular certification, it's called Credly. When you acquire a specific certification, they kind of give you a, what is this called? I don't know, a badge. Yeah, they give you different badges. So I think my favorite certification, so I used to have a CCNA, a Cisco Certified Network Associate. I let it expire because I'm really not using it for anything. And it's not really, I didn't really care to maintain it. Because when you try to maintain certifications, that comes with fees. Sometimes you got to take tests over again. You got to get additional, I guess, badges, or what do you call that? You got to put in additional time and trainings in order to maintain it. But the ones I like are these GX certifications. Out of these, I have 5 of these. Out of these, I really liked, the one I like the most is probably this GCIH, the GX Certified Incident Handler. So this one goes over incident handler certification, validates a practitioner's ability to detect, respond, and resolve computer security incidents using a wide range of essential security skills. So I really like this one. And we go over, it doesn't go over what we go over, like the syllabus or anything. Let me see if it'll go to it. I know the organization, but I want to see this one. This one I really liked. Okay, learn more. If I go to the learn more, I'm just switching it up for you so I can go over what that syllabus was. So this is the site for the GCIH. And I wouldn't say that this was a super duper challenging certification, but it was one where I think that I was able to harness a lot of my skills. So these are some of the topics that it went over. So detecting covert communications, detecting evasive techniques. It's like finding and doing different cyber attacks was part of the training for this course. And it was dope. It kind of goes over the incident response investigation process, pickerel, what is that? Preparation, incident, something, ERL. This is from like the NIST stuff about what the incident response process is, pickerel. Memory and malware investigations, network event. I mean, it really just kind of covered the full gambit of detecting and understanding different cybersecurity attacks. SMB scanning, which is very common. So yeah, this was probably my favorite certification to answer your question there. Yeah, the SANS GCIA certification. Let me take that link and throw it here in the chat. I'm gonna say my favorite cert. My favorite cert. Thing about these certifications is that they can be very expensive too, though. The training and the certification, oh my gosh. I think this would maybe, Let me find it. Let me see. Not the objectives. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? I'll just say it's probably like $9,000 just for this certification, just to get this one for the training and then sitting for the cert too. Yeah. So thank you. Anytime, anytime. I put that there. That's the SOC analyst interview. If you want to take, you are so confident. Yeah. Yeah, anytime. That's what I'm here for. That's a lot of times why I do these lives, is to really answer the questions for the people that have been viewing the videos. Most of my content is pre-recorded, right? A lot of it is pre-recorded videos. Some of the best videos that I've done, or at least a lot of people have shown the most interest in, is me explaining like what is a cybersecurity engineer, what is a cybersecurity analyst, what is of cybersecurity. So a lot of people have liked a lot of those type of videos, but this is like the opportunity for me to really answer a lot of your questions that are here in the chat. So yeah, CEUs and CPEs. Man, continuous education credits. Yeah, those are the ones. Those definitely are the ones that you have to maintain for these certifications. So yeah. Any other questions? I'm about to mess with the family. Everybody's talking about, in the family group chat that they're talking about the eclipse right now. Don't look outside. And some people have purchased glasses to look at I'm good. All I have are my eyes. In order for me to look at these investigations and everything for cyber investigation, I need my eyes. So if anything happens to my eyes, it's over for me. It's over for me. This whole channel is gonna have to shut down. I'm gonna have to retire into something else. But if there are no other questions, I'm actually gonna go ahead and shut down this stream. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for coming through, for asking your questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them down here into the comments section if you're doing the replay. And again, it's your Struggle Security, where we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And hopefully I could be doing this more and more. Yeah, this is Bird Box, going to be like Bird Box movie. I love that movie. That was a good movie. It was the concept was unique. I think it came from a book, but I haven't heard of the concept. Because a lot of times you'll see movies and it's just a repeat, the Godzilla movie that's out, or Doom. It's just stuff that's just repeated. And I thought that the Bird Box was kind of a unique concept that I haven't seen in a long, long time. But yeah, thank you all for being here, man. So thank you all. And hopefully I can be here with you again soon. All right. I'll see you all later.